I'm Emma Kate Austin, back in the studio with our reporter Stephen Hobbs, and it's been more than 3 months now since the horrific shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, and still there are so many unanswered questions and what-ifs about what went on that day. So Stephen, can you tell me a little bit about what was behind the idea for this story?
We were really inspired by the question of what could have made a difference. There's been a lot of talk about maybe people, students and staff could have been saved on the third floor. So we wanted to look at, what maybe made the biggest difference on people who were injured and killed there that day.
Was there anything else new you found out about the law enforcement response in your reporting?
Yeah, I think one of the things we really wanted to do was get kind of a time frame, a timeline for how long the school resource officer, Scott Peterson, and other deputies who arrived had to maybe get into the building and up to the third floor before they could have stopped the gunman from shooting people and killing people on that floor. So we found that, for example, maybe Scott Peterson had like less than a minute from the point where he stopped by the building to get up to the third floor before the gunman got up to the third floor and started shooting, as well as we were able to kind of get an idea of the other deputies that responded, just where they were and also where they maybe needed to be and what time they needed to be there, how long it would take, for them to get there before, the gunman was on the third floor. So I think those were just new things that hadn't really, the information was out there, but it hadn't really been broken down into kind of a time frame that we tried to do here.
Mm-hmm. What other details about the third floor specifically did you discover when you went to look at all this again? Yeah,
just from getting a more vivid and a better sense of what the scene was like up there, just really the packed floor as people were leaving their classrooms when they thought it was a fire drill, the panic and the chaos of people rushing up, back up the stairs and trying to alert people to get back in their classrooms, as well as just, some other horrific things about some of the sights and sounds that people experienced when they were up there.
So it's been about, more than 3 months now since the shooting. So how did you manage to find out this new information?
Yeah. One was just taking a deeper look at some of the details that have already been out there and trying to piece them together. Everything's moving so fast and there's so much. So whether it was revisiting like police reports or calls or transcripts of some of those things that we've gotten. The other thing that we did was just maybe try to contact people that we had tried in the past and hadn't gotten in touch with, or had seen maybe that they talked about a small detail in another news story or with another TV station or something, and try to go to them again and talk to them again and have them expand upon their experience a little bit more so we could get a better idea while focusing on that question of what maybe could have made a difference on that third floor. So it was a combination of new stuff, but also just taking a second look at things and piecing it together like a puzzle.
Yeah. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for coming into the studio to talk about this. It's a really compelling story, and there are still so many questions and what-ifs about that day, and we'll try to find those answers for you and, of course, share them with you on sunsentinel.com.